Picture this: you're in a meeting, and someone throws out an idea. Everyone's nodding along, but you get that feeling, something just doesn't add up. You want to speak up, but you're not sure how to explain what's off. What if you had the skills to break that idea down, see what's wrong, and ask the right questions with confidence? That's what critical thinking can do for you, and in this video, we're going over 15 simple ways to improve it. These tips will help you spot problems, make smarter decisions, and think more clearly every day. Stick around, this could totally change how you see things. Critical thinking is a crucial skill in today's world. It's the ability to think clearly and rationally, understanding the logical connection between ideas. Critical thinkers are better equipped to navigate the complexities of modern life, make informed decisions, and solve problems effectively. But how do you develop critical thinking skills? Here are 15 practical ways to enhance your critical thinking abilities. 1. Question assumptions. One of the cornerstones of critical thinking is the ability to question assumptions. Assumptions are often taken for granted and rarely challenged, but they can be the root of flawed reasoning. Developing the habit of questioning the assumptions behind statements, beliefs, or arguments can lead to a deeper understanding of the issue at hand. For example, if someone assumes that higher education guarantees success, you might question that by asking, is this always true? And what about examples of successful individuals without formal education? By doing this, you begin to critically evaluate the premise of the statement rather than accepting it as fact. 2. Develop curiosity. Curiosity is the fuel for critical thinking. When you are curious, you naturally want to know more about the world around you. This desire to learn and explore leads you to ask questions, seek out new information, and critically analyze the information you receive. Start by cultivating a mindset of continuous learning. Read widely on various topics, engage in conversations, and ask questions even when you think you know the answer. Curious individuals are more open to new ideas and are less likely to hold rigid views, which is a vital component of critical thinking. 3. Engage in active listening. Listening is more than just hearing words, it's about understanding the underlying message and the reasoning behind it. Active listening involves fully focusing on the speaker, asking clarifying questions, and withholding judgment until you've fully understood their point of view. When engaging in conversations, practice listening to the perspectives of others without immediately formulating a response or critique. This will allow you to absorb information more thoroughly and consider viewpoints that may differ from your own, enhancing your ability to think critically. 4. Recognize your cognitive biases. Everyone has cognitive biases, mental shortcuts, or patterns that influence how we think and make decisions. These biases can often cloud our judgment and prevent us from thinking critically. Some common cognitive biases include confirmation bias, favoring information that confirms our preconceptions, availability bias, relying too heavily on information that is easily available, and anchoring bias, being influenced by the first piece of information we hear. To develop critical thinking, it's important to be aware of these biases and actively work to counter them. This can be achieved by seeking out information that challenges your beliefs and considering alternative viewpoints. 5. Read critically. Reading critically is not the same as reading passively. When you read critically, you are actively engaging with the text by analyzing the argument, evaluating the evidence, and considering the implications of the ideas presented. Instead of merely absorbing information, critical readers ask questions such as, what is the main argument? What evidence supports this claim, and are there any contradictions in the argument? By approaching reading with a critical mindset, you'll be better able to assess the validity of the information and develop your own well-reasoned conclusions. 6. Practice reflection. Reflection is the process of examining your own thoughts, beliefs, and experiences. By taking the time to reflect, you can identify areas where your thinking may be biased or unclear. Reflection also allows you to make connections between new information and what you already know, which enhances understanding and retention. A simple way to practice reflection is to keep a journal where you regularly write about your thoughts, decisions, and the reasoning behind them. Over time, this practice will help you become more self-aware and improve your ability to think critically. 7. Seek diverse perspectives. Critical thinking is strengthened when you expose yourself to a wide range of perspectives. Engaging with people who have different backgrounds, experiences, and viewpoints helps you see issues from multiple angles and avoid the trap of groupthink. You can seek out diverse perspectives by participating in discussions with individuals from different cultures or fields, attending lectures, or even reading books and articles that challenge your current beliefs. The more you expose yourself to differing opinions, the better equipped you will be to evaluate ideas critically. 8. Analyze arguments. Learning how to break down arguments is an essential part of critical thinking. Analyzing an argument involves identifying its premises, the supporting evidence, and the conclusion, the main point. You then assess whether the premises logically support the conclusion and if there are any fallacies or weaknesses in the argument. For example, if someone argues, "We shouldn't trust scientists because they've been wrong before," you can break this down by asking, "Is the premise accurate, and does this premise logically lead to the conclusion that scientists can never be trusted?" By deconstructing arguments in this way, you become better at identifying faulty reasoning. 9. Develop emotional intelligence. Critical thinking is not just about logic and reason, it also involves being aware of and managing your emotions. Emotional intelligence, EI, refers to the ability to understand, use, and manage your emotions effectively. When you can regulate your emotions, you're less likely to let them cloud your judgment or interfere with rational thinking. To improve your emotional intelligence, practice mindfulness and self-awareness. Recognize when emotions like fear, anger, or excitement are influencing your thoughts, and take a step back to analyze the situation more objectively. 10. Use the Socratic method. The Socratic method is a powerful technique for developing critical thinking. It involves asking a series of probing questions designed to stimulate critical thinking and draw out underlying assumptions or contradictions. The goal is not to reach a definitive answer but to explore the depth and breadth of the issue. When faced with a problem or argument, try asking questions such as, "What do you mean by that? How do you know this? And what happens if we take this idea to its logical conclusion?" These questions force you to think deeply about the issue and encourage critical examination of ideas. 11. Practice problem solving. Problem solving is an active form of critical thinking. It involves identifying a problem, analyzing possible solutions, and selecting the best course of action based on evidence and reasoning. The more you practice solving problems, the more you strengthen your critical thinking abilities. To improve problem-solving skills, try tackling complex issues in your daily life, such as financial planning, career decisions, or resolving conflicts. Approach these challenges systematically by breaking them down into smaller components, analyzing the factors involved, and considering different solutions. 12. Engage in debates. Debating is an excellent way to sharpen your critical thinking skills. It forces you to construct a well-reasoned argument, anticipate counterarguments, and defend your position against scrutiny. Debating helps you think on your feet, analyze arguments critically, and consider alternative viewpoints. You can engage in debates formally by joining a debate club or informally by discussing topics with friends or colleagues. The key is to focus on the strength of the arguments rather than personal attacks or emotions. By doing so, you'll develop the ability to reason through complex issues more effectively. 13. Evaluate sources of information. In the digital age, we are bombarded with information from a variety of sources, not all of which are reliable. Developing critical thinking involves learning how to evaluate the credibility of the information you encounter. Ask questions like, is the source trustworthy? What are the author's credentials? And is the information supported by evidence? Being skeptical of information does not mean rejecting everything, rather, it's about applying a healthy level of scrutiny to ensure that the sources you rely on are credible and unbiased. This is especially important in areas like news, politics, and health, where misinformation can easily spread. 14. Use mind mapping. Mind mapping is a visual tool that helps organize thoughts and ideas. It can be particularly useful for critical thinking because it allows you to see connections between different concepts, identify gaps in reasoning, and structure complex information more clearly. To create a mind map, start with a central idea and branch out with related concepts, supporting evidence, and counterarguments. This method encourages you to explore a topic in depth and consider multiple angles, which enhances your ability to think critically. 15. Challenge the status quo. Critical thinkers are not afraid to challenge the status quo or question established norms. This doesn't mean being contrarian for the sake of it, but rather being willing to critically examine long-held beliefs or practices. Sometimes, ideas or traditions persist simply because they have been accepted for so long, not because they are the best or most logical. To cultivate this mindset, start by identifying areas in your life or society where you've accepted things without questioning them. Then, research alternative viewpoints, analyze the evidence, and decide whether the status quo holds up to scrutiny. This process can lead to innovation and more informed decision-making. Finally, developing critical thinking is a lifelong process that involves cultivating curiosity, questioning assumptions, analyzing arguments, and engaging in reflective practices. It requires both self-awareness and a willingness to seek out diverse perspectives and challenge established beliefs. By incorporating these 15 strategies into your daily life, you can strengthen your critical thinking skills and become better equipped to navigate the complexities of the modern world. Critical thinking is not just a cognitive skill, it's a way of approaching life. As you develop this skill, you'll find yourself better able to make informed decisions, solve problems effectively, and engage in meaningful, rational discussions. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, critical thinking is a valuable tool that will serve you well in all areas of life. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.